One of the most exciting periods for NBA fans is the trade deadline. It's the time of year when some NBA GMs are looking at what moves can help push their teams into title contention, while others are looking to sell and acquire draft picks. But it's certainly not the players' favorite time of year, as their future hangs in the balance. And in honor of the recent last-minute shocking trade that saw Ben Simmons and James Harden switch teams, today we'll take a look at the top last-minute trades that shocked the NBA. But first, a reminder about our brand new giveaway. We're giving away a PS5 with a copy of NBA 2K22 and Madden 22. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, and make sure you're subscribed. It's that simple. Gary Payton and Ray Allen swap. In early 2003, Gary Payton's contract with the Seattle Supersonics was close to expiring, and despite two extremely successful regular seasons since George Karl led the team to the 1996 NBA Finals, the Sonics missed the 1999 NBA playoffs after Karl's departure the prior season. From there on, Seattle played mostly 500 basketball, with two first-round exits and another season where they didn't make the playoffs. With his prime coming to an end and Payton still playing at an all-star level, the Glove was reportedly looking towards the next chapter of his career. So the Supersonics trading Payton at the 2003 trade deadline wasn't much of a surprise. The real shocker was the Milwaukee Bucks giving up their all-star leading scorer in a deal. The Supersonics sent Gary Payton and Desmond Mason to the Bucks in exchange for Ray Allen, Kevin Ollie, Ronald Murray, and a conditional 2003 draft pick. The Sonics obviously didn't want to risk losing Payton as a free agent that summer for nothing, but the fact that the Bucks thought an aging Payton and Desmond Mason was enough of a return for a star like Ray Allen is still mind-boggling to this day. Payton played the rest of the season in Milwaukee but left in free agency to the Los Angeles Lakers that summer, so it was the Bucks who lost him for nothing. Meanwhile, Allen went on to have his best and highest-scoring season of his career in Seattle and led the team to several postseason runs. This is why USA Today ranked it as the worst trade deadline deal in NBA history, which makes absolute sense. What didn't make sense was this trade from the Bucks side, as it's still unclear what they sought to get from this deal. Nikola Vucevic to the Bulls. This one happened just last season, but it didn't make it any less shocking. With Dwight Howard's departure from Orlando, the Magic were in desperate search of a new franchise center, and in the very same trade that sent Howard to the Los Angeles Lakers, the Magic received Montenegrin big man Nikola Vucevic from the Philadelphia 76ers. Vuce hadn't played too big of a role in Philly, but he immediately became one of Orlando's top players. It didn't take him long to establish himself as the franchise star, and despite the Magic's mediocre results, he earned two All-Star selections while playing for them. But it was exactly due to those mediocre results that the Magic decided to go into a full rebuild. They were either barely missing the playoffs or getting swept in the first round anyway, so the front office decided to send their franchise star to the Chicago Bulls alongside Al-Farouq Aminu in exchange for Otto Porter Jr., Wendell Carter Jr., a 2021 first-round pick, and a 2023 first-round pick. The Magic got the draft capital they needed to help their rebuilding process, as well as a new young center with big-time potential. The Bulls added an all-star scorer to their exciting young core, while making it clear they were ready to return to title contention. And while Vucevic's personal stats have taken a small hit in the Windy City, we're sure he's as happy as ever playing in Chicago and winning alongside fellow stars DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. It's only been a little while, so we're yet to see how this trade works out for both sides, but thus far, it looks like it was a win-win for everyone involved. Don't go anywhere, because we're yet to see a heavily underrated trade that played a huge part in an underdog team winning an NBA championship. DeMarcus Cousins joins Anthony Davis in NOLA. DeMarcus Cousins was legitimately the best center in the league back when he played for the Sacramento Kings, but he was also known for having a red-hot temper and often found himself atop the league's technical fouls and ejections list. It all came from Cousins' deep desire to play winning basketball, which, sorry Kings fans, but his chances of winning in Sacramento were never too good. The Kings had already faced multiple issues with Cousins' attitude, going as far as suspending him for conduct detrimental to the team on multiple occasions. Plus, the front office wasn't unwilling to pay Boogie's market value with his contract coming up in about a year and a half. This all led to the Kings shockingly trading Cousins alongside Omri Caspi in exchange for Tyreke Evans, Langston Galloway, Buddy Hield, a 2017 first-round draft pick, and a 2017 second-round draft pick. Much like with the Ray Allen trade we saw earlier, this was also an extremely underwhelming return for one of the best players in the NBA. In fact, this one also made USA Today's list of worst trade deadline deals ever. What makes the trade even more questionable was that Kings GM Vlade Divac had said days before the trade that he wasn't looking to trade Cousins. But after the Pelicans trade went through, he even admitted to having a better deal on the table. When you make a deal, you want to get the most. Right now was the best time, and it was the best offer we had, Divac said in explaining the Kings' side of the trade, because I had a better deal 2 days ago. And as if they weren't already the laughingstock of the entire league, Divac then said they were eager to add Buddy Hield to their team because Kings owner Vivek Ranavide believed Hield had Steph Curry potential. Talk about placing unnecessary stress and unrealistic expectations on your new players. But the truth is, this was a terrible trade for the Kings, and one that turned out to be quite successful for the Pelicans. Their enormous progress was unfortunately derailed by Cousins' torn Achilles, but they still fleeced Sacramento and shocked the entire NBA. Marc Gasol to the Raptors. The deal that brought All-Star center and longtime Memphis Grizzlies stalwart Marc Gasol to Toronto is often overlooked due to the Spaniards' drastic drop-off in the stat sheet. But in reality, this trade was critical in helping the Raptors win their only championship in franchise history. After spending his entire 11-year career as the star big man of the grit-and-grind Memphis Grizzlies, it was reported that the three-time All-Star was considering to decline his player option and become a free agent at the end of the 2018-19 season. And so, the Grizzlies front office started to explore possible trade destinations for the 34-year-old. And after going all in the previous summer by trading for Kawhi Leonard, the Raptors were still looking for ways to improve their roster, and they immediately jumped at the chance of trading for Gasol for a rather cheap price. The Grizzlies traded Marc Gasol for C.J. Miles, Jonas Valanciunas, DeLon Wright, and a 2024 second-round draft pick. With this, the Raptors put together a starting lineup of Kyle Lowry, Kawhi Leonard, Pascal Siakam, and Gasol, who had been an all-star less than 2 seasons ago. Plus, they still brought the likes of Serge Ibaka, Fred VanVleet, Norman Powell, and OG Anunoby off their bench, holding a legitimate championship-caliber squad. And guess what happened? Sure, Gasol's scoring numbers were cut almost in half from his Grizzlies days, but people forget he was an integral part of the Raptors' championship run. The former Defensive Player of the Year gave the team a much-needed floor spacer who hit almost 40% of his threes, plus giving Toronto elite rim protection even at 34 years of age. This, combined with Gasol's veteran instincts and playoff experience, represented a major upgrade over Valanciunas. Even when all of Leonard, Gasol, Ibaka, and even Raptors lifer Kyle Lowry were gone 2 years later, the gamble surely paid off, as it delivered the first and only championship in the team's history. Which of these trades do you remember shocking you the most when it happened? Which one was the best and the worst trade deadline deal ever? Make sure to let us know in the comment section down below, and we'll see you in the next one.